Like a beacon up high, there's a beaver. Beaver in the sky with a hat on. Welcome everyone, Adam. The woo here, the aroma of coffee is so good. You want some? No. Don't taste. Just smell it. Just have a little whiff. Oh, it's good, right? Imagine what it tastes like. I don't have to imagine because I just tasted it, but you can imagine. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's I'm losing my mind. The Daily Woo! Gonna check out the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum. And also located on this very spot, on March 1st, 1849, the first sale of town lots creating Waco, Texas happened right here. Let's check out what's inside. 4 pounds, 9 ounces is what this weighs. Imagine holding and aiming a gun that weighs the same as a 5-pound bag of sugar. There is this canvas painting of the moment in 1934 when a few former Texas Rangers took down Bonnie and Clyde. And even more fascinating than that is they have a lot of artifacts that the couple owned. There's one of his weapons right there. And check this out. These 2 guns were used to kill them. One from Ted Hinton and the other one from Manny Galt, used in the ambush. That's crazy. These glasses were used as a disguise by Ray Hamilton, who was an on and off again member of the Barrow Gang. The sawed-off shotgun up top belonged to Bonnie. The one on the bottom, the Winchester, that was Clyde's, found in the car from the ambush. And there is his pocket watch that he carried with him. On the back, if you were to turn it around, there's the engraving stating Clyde B. Here's something I never knew. Fingerprinting started in 1892 by a guy named Sir Francis Galton. I didn't realize it went back that far. You've heard the term wearing a wire. This looks like the early incarnation of that, plugged into a wristwatch, and then you have the recorder tucked in your shirt somewhere, but there's a microphone inside the watch. This little girl's name is Kara Lee Whitehead. She was rescued from her kidnapper by the gentleman who wore this jacket. One of the other Texas Rangers was killed in a gunfight to save her. And the interesting thing is, a few years after her rescue, her and her family died in a plane crash. Wow. You do hear that sometimes. Something dramatic happens to someone and they get out of that unfortunate event. And then shortly after, another unfortunate event happens that takes their lives. Very bizarre. Look how concealable that little gun would be. It's called the Saturday Night Special. This belt belonged to Ranger Jim Gear, and he's photographed here wearing that same belt. This is a custom fit mask for Clayton Moore, who played the one and only Lone Ranger. That is freaking cool. That's his mask. Classic TV right there. Classic TV indeed. This looks like a tight squeeze going through here. This is the Brazos River. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Brazos? On the corner of North 15th and Washington is an old gas station that has been repurposed to make it look like it did back in its heyday. This is pretty cool. Created by 2 brothers here in Waco who wanted a place to work on cars to give them a feeling of nostalgia. And it's safe to say they did one heck of a job. Even inside is decorated to the theming of the era. Hard to imagine a gentleman dressed like that coming out to put gas in your vehicle in these days, isn't it? Unless you live in New Jersey, but they still don't dress like that. You know, New Jersey is very interesting. There are 2 unusual facts about that state. There are no left turns And it is illegal to pump your own gas. True story. Google it. I am a big fan of drinking soda, or pop, whichever you like to call it. Mountain Dew is my #1 favorite, but I also like the drink that originated and started on this corner, known as Dr. Pepper. Originally, the drink was called Waco because you couldn't get it outside the city limits. They changed their name to Dr. Pepper though, or maybe it should be called Dr. Waco? Ah, Pepper's better. Or what about Dr. Salt? Nah, doesn't have quite the ring to it.
Hello, my name is Dr. Charles Alderton, but most folks just call me Doc. For a few years, back in the 1880s, Waco was the only place in the world you could get a Dr. Pepper. Now you have to understand that Dr. Morrison was very excited about that drink. He's the one who first called it Dr. Pepper. It got so popular that the back room of the drugstore was turned into a small syrup manufacturing plant.
This is the type of soda fountain where it originally would have been served. Check out the nickname, Crazy Water. I'm gonna have some of that crazy water. Different Dr. Peppers from around the world. Holland, Japan, Poland, Russia, Saudi Arabia. I wonder if they have a Beverly. These are some vintage soft drink manufacturing equipment starting from the 1930s up until the 1960s. It says here in the early days, bottles were inspected by eye, and that is what this guy is doing. He's getting a very keen look for imperfections. Imagine having that job. It'd be very interesting to do that for a career. What do you do for work? Oh, I just stare at bottles all day long, night and day. Oh, I've never seen this. Pepper free? They don't make that anymore, do they? And look at the size of these. These are gargantuan. That's my hand, and that's the bottle. That is a man-sized thirst right there. This museum is inside the building known as the Old Corner Drugstore. And this old photo from 1897 designates where I'm standing right now. Look at the streetcars running down here on these rails, and look at the crowd in front of the store to get a beverage. In 1953, the building was tornado damaged, one of the worst storms in this area. The entire downtown suffered a lot of damage. Going up on the second floor now, and I'm greeted by this old signage. This damaged vending machine was used as a prop in 2011, starring Thor himself. He got pretty angry though. Man, he just shredded that thing. I like how they've recreated old Americana right here inside this building. It's almost as if I'm outdoors. But I'm not, I'm inside a museum. Back in the day, they used to install drinking fountains on the sides of some of the machines. In case you didn't have enough change for a beverage, you could get a drink of water and wet your whistle. Never go home thirsty. Many other companies have tried to emulate the formula. I kind of like to try this one though. It's a Doc Holiday, not Pepper, but Holiday. This life-size horse is made out of aluminum cans and bottle caps. It's like having chicken pox, only the horse version. Some of their former advertising campaigns are slightly terrifying. Scott Yukin? Now this one I like. Frosty, man, Frosty. I wonder what type of songs are on that Be a Pepper cassette tape. This was the office of the former chairman and CEO, Foots Clements, who passed away in 2012. But they have kept his desk and his knickknacks on display. He even spawned off his own beverage. Would you drink a Foots?
Get you a refreshing Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I love one.
Oh, my name is Woodrow Wilson Clemens.
How are you?
My friends call me Foots because of my big feet. And for the past couple of years, I've been driving a delivery truck and stocking Dr. Pepper. Say,
I see big things in your future, though, sir.
it's got a unique taste. I think you'll like it.
I do like Dr. Pepper.
No, it's not a cola, even though it looks like it.
You don't have to convince me. I've tried it.
Well, it's a pepper.
It's a pepper.
It's totally different.
It is good.
Here, try one.
How does it compare to Mr. Pibb?
Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret behind I load these bottles.
Okay.
You see, I refill dozens of soda coolers every day at every store on my delivery.
But how does it compare to Mr. Pibb?
One day, I was watching people get their bottles out of the cooler.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a right-handed person lifts the lid with their left hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Picks out a bottle with their right hand.
Right.
Now, I know that human nature likes convenience, so I made it easy. I just put all the Dr. Peppers on the right side of the cooler.
Oh.
I did have to move some of the other brands around.
I see what you did there. Genius! Exiting the big building now, passing this really awesome mural, and heading into another structure. I wonder why they got rid of the lion and they stopped calling it the king of beverages. This was the first bottle to be produced outside of the U.S. in Mexico City in 1946. It's the only remaining one. That's why it's behind this glass case. In the early 1900s, they created these little pen holders to promote the beverage. These are pretty rare as well. And it looks like Holt Beverage Company, also in Waco, used to distribute 7-Up. In fact, they still might distribute 7-Up. This reminds me something out of a Laverne and Shirley intro. What the heck is this? Seriously, what the heck kind of spaceship is this? Dr. Pepper 1985 Land Cruiser? That's amazing. I never knew this either. They bottle Big Red here in Waco as well. I saw a sign back there designating this town as the soft drink capital. It didn't say of Texas, the world, or the US, but I guess it's the soft drink capital. I can't win. There certainly is a lot of ground to cover in this state. I'm heading north on Interstate 35. This old theater here on the marquee says Texas. It's a pretty neat little downtown area. Hillsboro is where I am. This is the Cell Block Museum, and it was a functioning jail until 1983. The sheriff lived in the front room, and the inmates were in bars behind the back. However, they're not open until April. You can even see how it's secured up. I don't remember bars being on these windows. And even though I can't get inside, it is worth stopping off here, however, because as the story goes, the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley himself, spent a night in there. The charge? Public intoxication. So he resided, whoa, there's a step right there. He resided behind these walls for a few hours, dancing to the jailhouse rock. I seriously almost stumbled right there on that little sidewalk piece. Gosh, I love this old Americana style signage. Check the name of this place out too. Not antiques, Fleas Antiques. So like a flea market mixed with antiques, I'm guessing. I get pretty excited about that type of stuff. And this falls into that category. There is a Roadside America, a museum. This old bus has a golf cart hanging out on top of it. This is a true relic. And this school bus as well. I don't know why there's a satellite dish in here, but there is. Or why this piece of wood is on the hood. I'm stumped. I'm being teased. Why aren't you open? This place looks amazing. No. Whap, 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 whap. I guess it just wasn't meant to be, right, cowboy? It just wasn't meant. Wait a second. Do you have a hole carved in your crotch? There's a hole. What the heck is going on in there? As I was talking to the cowboy, the owner peeked through the curtains. He's gonna let me in. I've seen these guys around. This is the hot dog that's putting mustard and ketchup on himself.
Yeah, that's American hot dogs. I'm not sure where.
I've always thought it was bizarre that he would be wanting to like put condiments on himself, because then he would be like a cannibal of some sort. This Ronald McDonald Talks, or it says speak. Oh, this was the drive-through.
That's where you'd order.
So you pull up in the car and you talk right in there.
You order through that, yeah. This showcase here is one of 4 I built in the mid-90s, I guess it was.
It's an old Cadillac, the back of a Cadillac.
59 Caddy, yeah.
Were these from a restaurant, Bonanza?
Yeah.
Check that out. There's Haas Cartwright right there. I remember that name, Kickapoo. I think they still make that on a small scale. Wasn't it Kickapoo Joy Juice?
Yeah, I think so. It's Frisch's Big Boy. There's only 3 of these known to exist in this style, this size.
The running big boy, they call it. Yeah, I've never seen one like that.
Running like, you know, a wedge cap, his leg up in the air like he's running with a burger.
So how did you find out it was from the one in Burbank?
I was talking to the guy that I bought this one from. He's a huge big boy collector. He's the ultimate all-knows-all big boy guy.
And he let you know that that was one of the first built big boys from Burbank. There's even a Piggly Wiggly head. The grocery store, Piggly Wiggly, they have a mascot head. Time to say vlog over. Screw that up. Try that again. Now it's time to say vlog over. That's better.